Thank you for having me here. My name is Mark Vaiciulis. I work for Intel Corporation, and I'm a global marketing manager in our partner marketing group. And one of the things I want to talk to you about this morning is a campaign that we ran with HP and our media partners at Sharethrough called Tiesto in the Booth. It's a campaign that had phenomenal metrics. It's something that I'm deeply passionate about. That and baseball, later on we'll see Kyle and Ian, they got their baseball jerseys on today. I didn't get the message about that, but it's really something that I'm passionate about. And I wanted to spend a few minutes with you today to talk a little bit about the campaign structure that we put together, the objectives, the strategy, the overall opportunity, and what we did to bring Tiesto and electronic dance music to a young adult audience. So at Intel, it's really a point of inflection right now. In terms of our objectives, we have a lot of different things going on. Obviously, Intel is a big brand. Interbrand has us number 7 in terms of worldwide brands. But more importantly for us is we have an obligation, or we want to build that brand loyalty to the next generation of consumers. Okay? Because when my kids wake up in the morning, they talk about Intel because they're my kids and they know that's what I like to do. But the brands that they're being exposed to is where they're going to bring the next consumer loyalty. So at Intel, it's about maintaining our brand relevance, but establishing brand relevance and loyalty to that next generation of users. The other thing at Intel, we're at a really challenging time. We're really at an inflection point in the industry. As we see new form factors come on, right? People are consuming media and entertainment, and they're interacting through their phones, their convertibles, their tablets, right? It's not really the laptop anymore. So we at Intel have an objective to make the PC exciting again. And the way we are going about this is by introducing a new category of device called the Ultrabook. It's characterized by its thinness, its responsiveness, its style, its mobility, right? So Intel develops the processor for the Ultrabook. We set specifications for our OEMs to build to Ultrabook spec to bring you the next category of thin and light devices. So one of our main missions at Intel is to get this category out there, to make people be familiar with Ultrabook and what that category is all about. And then obviously we want to drive preference and consideration for PCs with Intel Core processors. And in this specific project, our partner was HP. So one of our objectives of this campaign was to not only highlight the Ultrabook category and use HP Ultrabooks as the proof point for that category, but also drive preference and consideration for their other products. In terms of strategy, our target, right, is young adults plus, 18 through 34, 18 to 24. This audience is a really important segment to us. Again, because of brand loyalty, we find that they're the tech influencers, right? They are establishing what is cool and what's hot in terms of technology and technology brands. They can be characterized by their social networking, their fashion and technology consciousness, their willingness to spend on technology, and their passion. And one of their passion points is really music. So one of the thrusts of or opportunities with regard to this campaign was to tap into that passion of music for social interaction, real-world connections, experiences, and ownership for this next generation of music, electronic dance music. And then what we wanted to do is to build brand loyalty by providing great content, access to that content, access to the DJs, in this case Tiesto, and platforms to share and express their identity. And that's a big thing that Sharethrough did in terms of this overall campaign, was to help bring our content to the audience. And Mike will talk about that in a moment. In terms of electronic dance music, again, our opportunity, 18 to 24, it's a $4 billion industry worldwide. Someone like Tiesto has worldwide fans, 15 million social media followers. He's big in all the continents in the world. He plays 200 shows a year. And today's DJs are really the next generation of kind of musicians or musician superstars, right? Tiesto, in terms of influence, he's on Forbes' 2012 list of 100 most influential celebrities, and his social media pull is really powerful. He's one of 24 on the list. In terms of the campaign itself, at the center of the campaign to build loyalty with this audience was, I would like to call it the hub of the campaign, which was really great content. So what we did was we worked with Believe Entertainment to build branded content, a digital content series called In the Booth. And In the Booth was really a passion of DJ Tiesto. So I think that was a real critical part of our success, was to align ourselves with Tiesto and some sort of project or something that he was really passionate about it, because then he could bring his powerful social community into that campaign and drive traffic into our hub. So what we did was, over a 3 or 4 month period, we developed a campaign where digital content was king. We hosted that content on YouTube. We created custom content. We did technology videos, how Tiesto uses technology in the production of his music, to share music among his different audiences, and to communicate with his fans. We built out some custom ad spots. Oh, let me go back. Within the digital content series, there was also branded product placement. So we integrated in a kind of an authentic way HP and Intel products as part of that overall campaign. And then around the great content that we were provided, we did a number of integrated type of components. A really important piece of our plan was syndicated media, and Mike will get into that in a moment. We did a live cast at CES. So CES was where we launched the In the Booth series, and where we also launched HP product and built up the Ultrabook category. So at CES, we did a live cast. It was the first ever live cast on Twitter of an artist, or a live concert event. We did a lot of social media. So again, there was paid media as part of the campaign. We also took advantage of Tiesto's incredible social media platform and used him to engage his audience, again, to drive to that content. We did a live event at CES. There was 1,600 people at the event. The lines outside were like 2,200 people. We used that venue as an opportunity to launch product. The HP Spectre product and the HP Folio product were kind of the hero products at that CES event. And we also had Tiesto come into the Intel booth and talk about technology. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike now. I think Sharethrough, again, was a critical component of our success, because they help distribute the content to this audience base.
Thanks, Mark. In doing our homework for this campaign, I realized I was in the wrong industry when I found out that Tiesto makes somewhere up to $30 million a year. So a DJ that probably doesn't know how to play a musical instrument. So there's DJs all over the country rolling in their graves. For those of you not familiar with Sharethrough, we are a paid distribution channel for original brand video content. So brands are creating more original content because, as Julia was telling us with Kmart, it's getting harder and harder to engage their consumers. They're also finding that the most effective way to get their content seen and shared is through native ad placements across the web. Native advertising, by definition, is less obtrusive to the user, but is also proving to be driving much higher engagement rates compared to traditional pre-roll or display campaigns. Sharethrough sponsored videos give marketers the opportunity for those same types of sponsored units. So native for Twitter is promoted tweets. For YouTube, it's sponsored videos. For Facebook, it's sponsored stories. Sharethrough gives that same type of vehicle outside of those closed social platforms, but is also tightly integrated to them. So for our sponsored videos, the three criteria for native are the following. The placement needs to be visually integrated into the experience of the site. So this typically means that it's a non-IAB standard unit. Not always, but our placement on Forbes, for example, is actually within the editorial column. It actually appears directly below the article. People are becoming increasingly blind to the right rail and banners in general. For a Pinterest-style curation site, that look and feel is going to be a lot different for that placement, and the Sharethrough player adapts to its environment in terms of size and layout, colors and fonts. The vehicle needs to be choice-based. The users need to be electing to consume the content. It can't be an interruptive ad experience like pre-roll. We've done a ton of research against the user opted-in content versus something like pre-roll. In fact, a lot of times those interruptive ad experiences drive negative perception of the brand. And then it needs to be content-driven. The ad itself needs to be a standalone content experience. Now, the Intel Ultrabook Tiesto campaign is an amazing example of that. But you don't need to have an enormous comprehensive approach like Intel did on this campaign. We've seen a lot of brands be very effective in drawing higher awareness and engagement for their brand in 30-second to 3-minute spots, telling entertaining or engaging or inspiring stories that helps the brand tell their part in that equation. So it doesn't need to be this massive budget. So, and then we distribute it across our network, like I said, which is tightly integrated to those social platforms. So on to some of the campaign results. So brand content marketing done right should be a seamless integration of paid and owned and earned media. Now, most of you are already looking through that lens for all of your campaigns, but it's particularly true for original brand content. The Sharethrough platform is optimized to make sure that we're driving the most activity for those 3 touch points. For the Intel Ultrabook campaign, we offered native video distribution as well as editorial outreach. Again, we were just one channel of distribution, but we were able to drive over 475,000 views within those native placements. Within those views, we saw a greater than 4% click-through rate, with all of that traffic being driven to the Intel Tiesto Facebook homepage. Inside of those social platforms, we saw an additional 6,000 shares of that content amongst the social network friends. And then we were also able to secure 10 editorial placements within influential music publications due to the richness of the content. So like I said, that was just one spoke of the distribution channel. I'm going to turn it back to Mark, who can talk to the comprehensive results of the campaign.
Yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning, the campaign was wildly successful. We had 230 million press impressions. We think that about 90% of those press impressions were attributed back to HP and Intel. Billboard called our CES event the hottest ticket in town. The Tiesto Live was the best performing promoted trend in US history in terms of the live stream event that we did. And then, you know, at Intel, we measure everything, right? So we exceeded our benchmarks in terms of brand favorability and then purchase consideration for HP products with Intel Core. So it was an amazing campaign. And to kind of wrap it up, I just wanted to share with you a quick clip of our world premiere at CES featuring Tiesto. So let's roll the video.
Tonight's a very big show because it's the first time a DJ or an artist has a live stream on Twitter.
We've been in Vegas for a few days and, celebrating and looking forward to this, this moment.
People from all over the world are watching, and it's a huge deal.
I mean, you can't ask for much better.
I think we got the best show in town.
Oh my gosh, it's just such an honor to be here with HP and Intel in the first place, and then to be here for Tiesto's performance. I'm really excited.
It's amazing. It's been, cameras following us around for months on tour, and, here it is all right now, a big event in Las Vegas. I mean, it's special.
We're ready to rock the place.
Be partners with HP and Intel is amazing.
So why partner with someone like Tiesto?
Because he's hot.
Tiesto's music exemplifies the way people listen to music and create music.
We believe that digital content is a way to connect people in technology.